Playboy, you made that beat.
It's your boy E Tally back at it again from a remote site here in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Let me give another shout out to my guy J Cole. Hey, buddy, I'm in your crib.
Hey, this is Mike Daniel Jr., representing Alamo City All-Star Sportsplex and supporting Super Sports Media.
Well, hey man, we got a special guest all the way from Wagner High School. He is a five-time state champion appearance guy. So he got one championship on his belt. He's been to the state finals, been to the state finals 5 times. He has one championship from it, and he has 2 semifinalists. Coach Rodney Clark. How you doing, Coach?
I'm good. How you guys doing? Thanks for having me on.
Hey, real quick, you want to make Cantu jealous, right?
Yeah, I know.
No, Cantu like, what the hell? Oh, you introducing people now, and I'm gonna let them know first. Hey man, I did that because one, let me apologize. And I appreciate you getting on tonight and just taking time out your day from watching my Eagles and the Falcons play and just hanging out with us for a quick second.
Hey, no problem, man.
Well, look, man, I sent you the questions, and we're just going to ask you a few questions and just chop it up with you, get to know you a little bit better, allow the audience to know who you are. Because one, I think you're a very important role to what we have here in San Antonio in our basketball for high school. You're very important because a lot of NBA players came through your gym, and I don't think a lot of people know that.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say a lot. I mean, right now,
come on, Coach.
it's three. We
three.
got Jordan Clarkson and Andre Roberson, and then Kevin McCullough, who I was the head coach with him, just got drafted this year.
Correct.
I mean, I'm not taking nothing from it. I think it's kind of hard to have that caliber of kid in your gym. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times you don't know, whether they're going to make it or not. But then you see the growth when they leave you or whatever else, and you know that you had a piece of it some kind of way to help a kid out.
Well, to me, Coach, I got to tell everybody, I think high school is very important, and I think you had a major role because it's somewhere in that player's head or what he doing. He decided, hey, I got to take this shit real serious. Excuse my language. I take this stuff really serious.
Yeah, I agree. And part of that being, I know you had asked me about how I coach everybody the same. The way I see it is I take it from when I was in college. The recruiting game for me wasn't, extensive, but, I did get recruited. And, when those guys come and they're like, oh, just nice, sweet guys or whatever else. Well, when you get to school, now it's a job. Now it's something different, It's they're still cool. You still build a relationship with those guys, but it's a demanding thing. And so if you don't get a kid ready to go through like somebody not always telling you how good you are or telling you when you're doing wrong and no, you're going to do it this way or else type thing. I think you have to do that to all the kids. And I think especially the ones that have a higher ceiling, I think they need it more than the other guys.
Okay. Well, look, my first question for you is, who are some of your returning players as far as, I know you graduated about 4 or 5, if I'm correct, but who are some of your returning players that we get to look forward to watching this year and it's going to have a big role in what you got coming up?
I think the 4 biggest returners I have are going to be 2025 Marcus Johnson, He's been on varsity since he was freshman, so he's a 4-year guy. Got to play with Austin for a year. And then after that, 326s, which would be Lance Johnson, Damon Ramirez, and Trayvon Clark. I think those 4 guys will be the backbone to this team. And I think those 4 guys are going to be the one to let us know how far we are or not going to go.
So what do we have in the pipeline as far as incoming freshmen this year that you think is gonna help you, not this year, of course. I'm not looking this year, but next year and the years to come?
Well, I got one on varsity right now, Lionel Gillespie Jr. He's going to be good, but like I told him today, I had a meeting with the varsity guys, and, I had to let everybody know how it was going to go. And, like I had to explain to a lot of freshmen that are on varsity, it's going to be a rough year for you, especially if you were good in middle school, like you were one of the top guys in middle school. Well, now you just jumped 2 levels, and your physicality and the speed is totally different. So you have to change your whole thing. And it takes a year. It's going to take a year, in my opinion, unless you're just like a dude, it's going to take him a year. And then I had some other 26s. I got Alex Purdy, Aiden Urestes, and Cam Crenshaw. I think those 3. I had them play with the JV in this little I-35 thing, and they showed up, and so I'm really excited for those 4 guys. And there's some other guys, that are there. They just have to, come along a little, they're going to come along a little slower than those 4 guys. But I think those 4, and then I got some 8th graders over at Metzger that I really like too. So, I think, for a while I was like, Lee, this well is running dry. It was kind of looking kind of bleak, but I think it's turning around. So I think we'll be all right.
I remember that. I remember we talked a little bit, and that Metzger didn't look like they had any group. And then Metzger's a big school.
Yeah.
It just wasn't producing the kids that, or they wasn't developing the way we thought they would develop. But it's
Right.
good to hear a few of those guys doing their thing.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mike.
Coach Wagner, my country boy, the only boy I know that can get up and down that sideline with boots and never scuff his floor. So, first off, thank you for taking time out of your day, to come and allow us to have this interview, show you love, and give you flowers that you've rightfully earned. So thank you for being here, first off. Over these last 10 years, we built a beautiful relationship, from me officiating and earning my stripes and respect from you there to now being out here in this community where I get to be involved with some of the guys that are over there with you, to where, we can pick up the phone and call each other back and forth when we need something and help each other out. And so just thank you for allowing that relationship to happen and grow.
Yeah.
And so my question for you, my first question, with the resume that you have, with the ball players that have come through that T-Bird building, right? With the offers that I know that have come your way, what is it that I'm going to just say it, that I know you are T-Bird for life until you're done. Like, what made you stay, Coach?
It's just the kids, I love those kids because it's a challenge, at times, it's not, some of them don't have the best home life. And, I think it's a challenge to get a kid, not only to be a great basketball kid, but to be a great human, a successful human. And that's what I try to preach to them, is that, I will never promise anybody that I can get you to college, because I'm not that kind of guy, but what I can teach you is how to be a man, to the best of my ability when adversity hits. Because, in sports, there's a lot of adversity in the game, in practices, classroom, whatever else, there's a lot of adversity. So what I'm trying to teach is how to overcome it. because in life, when you get out of high school, you get out of college, whatever else, you're going to come across things, and you're going to have to know how to handle it. You can't just fold. You can't just chuck it in. You got to, dig deep and fight through it. So I think just that, and I grew up in the community. I'm a Judson grad, and I can't see myself really going anywhere else.
I feel that. Appreciate that answer too, Coach. That's
Yes,
going to lead into my next one. ET, you up?
All right, Coach. So this year, your district got some changes. You got the 2 new additions as far as you got New Braunfels now in your district, and you got Alamo Heights. So how do you see you guys with your district race shaping up this year towards though? You only can have 4 teams that actually come out your district, but you guys got 9 teams. And honestly, man, you got at least 6 teams that can represent your district this year.
Yes. When it came out, Coach Thornton over there at Smith Valley, since they're going to be the deck chair, he put us in a text thread or whatever else, and I can't tell you one guy that was happy about this district, and the reason being is because there's going to be 2 very good teams that will not make playoffs. It's going to be competitive every night. There's not going to be anybody that's going to blow anybody out, nothing like that. This is probably, in my opinion, especially in the region, I think it has to be the most competitive. I don't care what level, 1A through 6A. I think it's the most competitive district that they have come up with in a long time. So how the district race goes, I couldn't tell you. I would love to say, oh, yeah, I think we got it. But is this going to be a dogfight every night we step on that floor?
And the funny part is we got a chance to talk to the Jefferson's coach, Coach Vila, and we talked to him. And, again, he pretty much said the same thing. He was like, hey, man, don't put too much pressure because, again, he knows, make it to the playoffs, he's going to have to see somebody from you guys. And it's like, man, that's just going to be tough. It's going to be tough.
It is.
So,
it doesn't matter 1 through 4, They got the big and 5, so that's going to be different. And I know we'll talk about that in a minute, but it's going to be tough. Whoever gets one of us 4 first through whatever round we finish, it's going to be tough for whoever gets us.
Well, I will say this on record. Right now, that district you're in is the best district in our area right now, in our region right now, hands down. You're like you said already, you're top in the 6As, and I'm a big fan of my Judson guys and Steele,
right,
and Clemens and East Central and all those guys. I'm a big fan, but hey, right now, I'm definitely going to be hitting some 5A games. You are going to definitely be turning some heads, what y'all going to be doing over there.
Oh,
Go
yeah,
ahead, Mike.
It's going to be crazy.
So my question, Coach, you've coached over a decade and times have changed. How are you doing with the adaptation and the transition, right, of kids from yesteryear to kids of today, along with parents of yesteryear and parents of today? I'm in that Wagner gym, and they are with you to and through. How do you manage to maintain that, Coach?
Well, it is different, and I've had to change up a little bit. I mean, I still get after them, but I think now, and, not just because of that, just because I've learned over the years, I try to coach a little bit individually, but also as a whole. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody can't take all that I give them. And so everybody will get it, but then I can see that, oh, okay, I can't do that, or he'll just shut all the way down. So even, with that, I let the kids, I tell them, like, come talk to me. If something's wrong, you need to talk to me or whatever else, we can figure things out. But yeah, it's different. I got guys that'll come back, watch a practice or athletics or whatever else, and they'll tell me I'm soft now, and all this other kind of stuff. I'm like, I'm not soft. I said, I'm just adapting to what I have. like these kids aren't like those kids. And, you know, as far as the parents, it's different because it used to be where I could get on a kid or whatever else, and, you know, almost every one of them, a majority of my parents would be like, oh, yeah, you tell them. And then, you know, they would also, you know, talk to their kids and be like, hey, you're not doing this right. I think now what is starting to happen, I think a lot of kids and parents are getting told other things outside of the programs. And so what they're not getting in my program is an issue. And there's a lot more table talk now. Like, you know, when we were kids, my mom and daddy, they did not discuss the dislikes that they might have had with a coach or whatever else. Not saying that they agree with everything, but when I finished playing, you know, it was like, what was wrong with you tonight? And it was always about what can I do to get better, to push me, you know. And I think, you know, the parents were like that. And I think now it's turning into like, oh, my poor baby. And if, you know, and I tell kids all the time, I said, if you get to go to college, if you're blessed enough to go play in college, I said, your parents cannot do all this. You know, they can't, they ain't no, nobody's going to have no meetings with you and all this other kind of stuff. You know, some do, but it's at the end of the day, you're going to do what is asked of you in my program, because you might not be, there's levels to this. Everybody ain't on the same level. And I don't think parents and kids understand that now. I think everybody thinks that they can play Division 1 or they should be getting recruited or whatever else, and it's just not the case. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got the portal, you got prep schools, JUCOs, you got overseas guys, and like I explained to my guys all the time, I said we're only one state out of 50. We're one state out of 50, and so you got all these guys in the United States also. So everybody wants to go to a school, but everybody can't do it, you know. But I think that has a lot to do with it, because they see what they do in the AAU and, you know, all this other stuff, and they're having their success, so they can post this and that. Well, when you come back to the school program, your role might be different than what it was in the summer. And I don't think the kids and the parents can adapt to that part of it. You know, like a lot of times if they're playing on a team where they're scoring a lot of points and they're the guy, they can't take a back seat if somebody else is a guy. So, you know, that's, to me, that's the difference. And I wouldn't say that all of them are behind me either.
I was trying to keep it positive and supportive.
Yeah, I'm a truth teller. And maybe that's my problem.
Well, that's why I always tell all the AAU guys they need to make sure they talk with their coaches, including the coaches that they might think they might not get along with, or might just tell them like you are. You're very honest and open. You're not going to sugarcoat anything. You're going to tell you're going to tell a person how it is. Hey, listen, this is what I want him to do. If you can't help me, then I don't think your AAU program is for me. And a lot of coaches can't deal with that, coach. Just to be honest with you,
Oh, I
they
know.
get they get their feelings about it. Like, well, what do you mean? But no, you. A lot of AAU coaches don't understand. You have them 9 months out the year. I'm only renting them for 3 months. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they miss that sometimes. But anyway, I'm gonna move on because, you know, I get to talk about that AAU stuff. But I don't want to. But hey, real quick, looking forward as far as you released your schedule day on X. I saw that. So what non-conference games are you most excited about on your schedule? And then how important are preseason games leading up to your district play? How important is that?
I think, you know, I think your preseason is probably for me the most important part of it, because it gets you ready for district, you know, and then the district we're in, it's tough. You know, now in my preseason, I don't think I will see as much zone as I will in district, but I'm going to, excuse me, my kids are going to have to compete at a high level, you know, every preseason game. And, you know, I started, you know, I guess it was after that first state run, is when, a lot of people started reaching out to me to go to these different scrimmages and these different tournaments and all this other kind of stuff. And we got put into a 5A district that was kind of weak at the time. And so I was like, well, if we're going to go on a run, I have to have my kids prepared for the playoffs, not really overlooking anybody, but, if there's a chance we get to the playoffs, the only way we're going to make a run is if we can play high level basketball every game we play. And so that's why I try to do it preseason like that. Sometimes, I don't, it frustrates the heck out of me. And, the kids, I think sometimes it can be like, dang, like we can't win a game. But what they don't understand, and I have to explain to them, is this is a really, really good team. Sometimes, not every schedule year, but like, one year we had played every team that was in the 6A, 5A, and like 2 teams in the 4A state tournament. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, well, yeah, we didn't make it, but we also took Westlake to overtime also. And then they ended up getting to the state tournament, As far as the game that I'm looking forward to, I think the Judson game is going to be it's a highly anticipated game because, I got alumni that, graduated from us, and why don't we play Judson anymore and this and that. And so, I talked to Noe and we got that settled. So I think that'll be fun for the community. I don't think it's going to be so much fun for me, but for the community it is. But I think the funnest game and the most competitive game that I'm looking forward to right now is the Harlan game, because they play just like us, and, me and Jay Hall are really, really close. And I've told him, a bunch of my secrets, defensively and this and that. Whether he listens to it or not, I don't know. I think sometimes he does. And just the style of play that both of us play, I think that's going to be a really, really good, fun game.
So that's going to be 2 6As that I got right now, leading, or at least 1 and 2 in both of their districts. So I have Judson finishing 1 and 2, and then I have Harlan finishing 1 and 2 behind Brennan. So that's gonna be wild, man. You're really testing the boys right now, and I hope they understand what you're doing in reference to challenging them to prepare for not every district game, but every district game plus the playoffs. I hope they understand that part.
Yeah, they do. I think they do for the most part. And I think if I put a cupcake schedule out there where we just, win every preseason game, I honestly don't think the kids would appreciate it as much. They might be, kind of get down and whatever else because we're not winning every game. But I think at the end of it, when they see the results after the season every year, I think they're like, oh man, if I just played some BS tournaments and whatever else, I don't think that. And plus, if you have sorry about that. If you have kids that are, aspiring to go to college or whatever else, well, I'm about to let you see what college players are like because you're going to be playing them, and so therefore you can, you can scale yourself to see, well, can you or can you not compete at a higher level?
Okay. Go ahead, Mike.
So, everything that you just talked about, all of our interviews and all of our conversations is why San Antonio is on the rise, because a lot of the coaches are buying into that mentality. In order to be a state champion, in order to make a true state championship run, you got to play college level caliber basketball teams. Not be scared of it. I got a buddy of mine, a frat brother of mine down in Corpus, at Corpus Christi Miller, and they just got through playing DeSoto here at the Alamo Dome this past weekend. The city thought he was nuts.
Yeah.
But the only way Miller's going to get that actual state championship and stop getting blasted every time they see one of them, you got to see them grown men, them 6'6" and 6'8" grown men that
Right.
pretty much signed life. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Everybody thought it was nuts. And so to hear you speak on that, that leads me to my next question, right? Your culture. And you know you've got your culture, right? What are some of your household values? And then give me one that's nearest and dearest to that country boy heart of yours, coach.
My whole thing is, the culture that I want is to be tough mentally, physically, and then just to compete every possession of every game, every day in practice, whether it's a shooting drill or whether it's, defensive drill or just ball handling, whatever it is, you compete. And I think if you compete against yourself when it's not a competition around, you're not going against anybody, I think that helps you with that. But if you're just going through the motions because, well, coach said to do this drill, it's not going to work. So that my whole culture is I love kids that will buy into being tough. They always say your team takes a hold of your coach's, character or whatever else. Now, I don't want them to take all of it, but for the most part, just the tough and not being afraid to go compete against anybody. I don't care who it is. You have to have that. You have to think that, I can compete with anybody. Not saying that I'm better than everybody or that I'm on the same level, but I can go compete with these other 4 or 5 guys and we can win basketball games because we're tough enough to do it. I think that's one of the biggest things in high school basketball is playing hard and being tough and competing. I think now a lot of skill stuff, and when you have guys, that helps too. But I think like the 2020 team that we had, there wasn't no like high major Division I guys or nothing like that. A bunch of D2 guys, some NAI JUCO, but they were just all tough and they all wanted the same thing. When you get that, I mean, it's hard to beat teams like that. And that's what I just continue to try to do that every year.
Good stuff.
Also, I love the way you practice defense. Like you're such a defense first coach, man. Just that's what you get after it, man. I've seen you. I ain't gonna say you lose tips on purpose, but I've seen you like, no, we're gonna defer. We're gonna let you win the tip, and we're gonna get after you just to set the tone. I've seen that again, I'm not calling you out and say you do it on purpose, but I think I've seen you do it once or twice against Cole just to say just set the tone. Hey, I'm not picking on you. I'm not picking. I'm just speaking what I've seen you do. But
Yeah.
hey, so since we're talking about just the tone being said and just the way you teach, or what do you see the state of San Antonio basketball right now as far as where do you see us at the next 2 to 3 years?
You know what? I've been watching for a little while, the past couple of years. And I think that this younger group of kids from the 26s on down, I think it is going to hit another peak, a high peak of ball for this area. There's a lot of good young kids now, and I think it's turning around. I think it is due to some guys coming back and getting involved in the grassroots stuff to where they're teaching and developing kids and teach them how to play basketball, not just just a bunch of drills. They're actually now in the grassroots San Antonio. I think they're doing a better job of teaching the IQ parts of it and everything else. And so when they get to the high school teams, I think it just helps them out because of the many sets that some coaches run or all the other stuff, that people run. But I think the state of basketball in San Antonio right now is at a high level, and I think it's going to keep growing from what I've seen so far.
And what
Definitely
are your thoughts?
agree.
And real quick, what are your thoughts on the switching of the big A, the big team versus the small team who makes the playoffs? What's your thoughts on that new playoff rule? Because right now the small schools all play each other and the big schools play each other. So So you kind of got a better chance of winning if you're a small school and you're really, really good.
Yeah, you do. I can't say whether I do or don't like it yet. You know, it's never happened. Um, I, it's is it really gonna be a real thing though? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're good, you're good. You know, like we were a small 6A for years, and we competed and got to the state tournament, whatever else, is I think some of it is the trophy generation of, well, if everybody's more equal, then it's going to work out. Well, it don't always happen like that, but I mean, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I mean, we're big 5A, so I got all the heavy hitters, so it ain't gonna matter either way for me.
Go ahead, Mike.
Coach, one of my favorite parts about you, right? Family. Mrs. Clark, knowing how invested she is to have your back. Seems like every time, no matter what game I'm at, Wagner, she backed in that concession stand, making sure that concession stand is pumping, raising money for the program, right, in the club, right? Your kiddos, right? Beautiful Prince, So for me, my question to you, Coach, knowing the family man that you are, how much support, how vital of a role does your home family play with you dealing with that lovely inner city family of boys and young sirs that you're grooming and growing over at Wagner?
It plays a huge part. I have told, I don't know how, I've done a few interviews and I tell everybody the same thing. If you have a wife or a spouse that understands what it is about, it is a huge deal. And if they go to the games, I tell young coaches that, they just start out and, their wives are giving them a little heck about, you're gone all the time. I tell them to come to a game. Tell them to come and sit there. That's how you're going to spend time with them. But also my wife, she takes those kids in as an extension of the family. Like, she'll get on me sometimes when I'm too hard on certain kids or whatever else, and, she's trying to soften me up about stuff. We don't agree on a lot of things, but, she's involved more than just coming to the games. You know what I'm saying? We have a annual barbecue we do at the house every year for the varsity guys, whatever else. She cooks, she talks to everybody, mingles. It's just a great time. And I think that it's hard to balance all that stuff if you don't have somebody that gets it. The true companion that is there for you. When you're winning, it's great. When you lose, they can pick you up also. And then, like I said, they're just invested in those boys just as much as you are. That, for me, that's what it is. I don't know if everybody has that, but for me, she's invested in the boys, probably sometimes, certain ones more than I am. So I think that plays a huge role in it. And then, like, I can also, for me, I tell, because a lot of my kids are, minority kids. And I tell them, it's kind of hard, but you also, when you get older, you want to be the best version of yourself for your spouse. Not to say that you won't mess up or that, everything's going to be great, but you also have to be that for her in order for her to be that for you. You know what I'm saying? And so we try to do that at the house. And that way, when I'm going on trips or she can't get to a game or whatever else, it's still there. There's still support there. I call her halftime every game, no matter where I am.
Wow.
Yeah, she watches the games and she still, if I don't call, she she gets in my butt about it. But that's just part of it. And I'm not saying that you have to do that. It's just something that we do. And I think that just because she's invested in it, she's involved. She don't just come. She's just not a fan. Like she's an extension of me, just like I would need my point guards to be, which sometimes they do, sometimes they don't.
That was a hell of a fun fact right there, Coach. Call her every halftime. That's dope right there.
That is dope. That is dope. All right, Coach. Here's my last question. Then Mike gonna finish off with rapid fire. All right. You're one of the coaches that had a lot of success or had success going to the state tournament. What do you credit that to? And what advice would you give a younger coach starting out? You just kind of maybe, might have a good opportunity to go to the state tournament or just make the playoffs.
Yeah, well, I credit that to the kids that show up every day. Because at the end of the day, you can be a great, great coach. And there's a lot of coaches that haven't made it to the state tournament or whatever else. And I would be a fool if I didn't think that it was, a lot of it, in my opinion, majority of it is because I had guys. You have to have guys in order to get there. I don't care what nobody says. You have to have guys, especially in 6A, 5A. You have to have some guys that can play ball. The next thing is you have to get those guys on the same page as you to buy into everything you preach. They have to be able to run through a wall for you. And once you get a guy that does that or a group of them, like you might sometimes, you might have only 2 or 3 guys, but they can work so hard to where those other 8, 9 guys that are on that same bench are right there with you. So my advice is I think you have to have some kind of philosophy, whatever it is. Mine, I'm a defensive coach through and through, and I attest that to my college coach, Bob Batiste, up there in Northwestern Oklahoma, because that's what we did. It was defense on our shorts, on the back bottom half of our shorts. It said we play defense every year, and it just stuck with me. And I think, for me, getting kids to play hard defensively or whatever else is a major thing, and that's what can get you there. To a younger coach, like I said, just find what works for you, and don't go anywhere else with it. Like, you stick to your guns. That's what you do. That's what you do. You have to get those kids to buy into what you're preaching in order for you to be successful in what you're doing. And I think if your philosophy is good enough and you have the right, whatever you have to have, I think it can work for you. But like I said, it ain't going to happen with everybody because you have to have guys. You got to have guys. I don't care what anybody tells you. It's not just coaching. I think coaching is maybe 40% of it. I think 60% of it at least is the guys that are playing for you.
That's dope. I can agree to that. Definitely. Go ahead, Mike.
I love the fact that he immediately gave all the praise and credit to the kids. That's the modest, humble individual he is. And if you don't know him, you wouldn't know that about him. So I love that response.
And that's why, honestly, I'm really ecstatic about this interview. And
that
just
you
the
almost
fact
forgot.
that no, I'm trying to put it in words. Hey, Mike, I don't need listen. This guy doesn't need no help. Okay, he did it to me already. He don't need no help, bro. I promise you. Again, his first game is against Judson. Come on, dog. He don't need no help. I'm already gonna get it from both sides already. So hey, chill out. But honestly, that's the part of I want the city to know. I want the city to know him as well as we know him. We can get out here because again, like I told him earlier, the service he does, not just what he does for Wagner and Justin ISD, but just it's so selfless, man. Again, he has his own family. And what is he doing? He's talking to us, taking time away from his family, not just, just to educate the city about what's going on, but he's talking to us, and then he does the same thing with those boys. He travels with them. Again, he puts a hard schedule. I asked him a little bit about his schedule prior to all this, and they going to McAllen and Dallas and all these places. Like, bro, a lot of coaches don't have to do that stuff. So I just want the city to know how much of a great coach he is and what he does for his community and how he gives back. And I just thank him again for giving us his time, man. It's really important.
I appreciate that because I don't know if everybody thinks that same way.
And you know, I think that way, man, because again, man, it's a selfless. Listen, next to going to the military, coaching is the next, and being a teacher is the next selfless thing in the United States as a job.
I'll agree. I agree.
As a job.
Yeah,
Again,
because you spend your doggone nights worrying and concerned about other people's children.
Yes,
Yeah.
you do.
Folk don't understand. We take this stuff home.
You do.
Yes, you do.
And then the great,
like I know the first, as a head coach, that first year, 16, 17, when we lost to Cy Falls and we get back to the school, I was sitting in the office with my assistant at the time. And I was just sitting there. And he told me, he said, Coach, he said, leave, go home to your family. Like, you can't do nothing about it now. But I take it so hard because not only me, because like I tell them all the time, I'll get another chance next year. But for some of you, this is your last hurrah for high school for sure. For some, it's the last time you're going to play organized basketball for a program, And so, I take it really hard when we lose. And my wife, she gets it. And it's, I wish, sometimes I wish I wasn't so corrective of myself, thinking that it's my fault, because I take it hard when we lose, and I just ponder and try to figure out, what can I do, or what did I not do in order to win or lose this game.
Hey, so before I go into rapid fire, Coach, just a random question, because you said some earlier. So you're playing Judson. Where? Who won the paper, rock, scissors to figure out which house is going to be in?
Oh, I told Noe we'll play there.
Hey, so I commend to both of you, first off, because although the field houses are great and everything, because you can separate the sides, that old school vibe of having to go into somebody's house and deal with that hostility, that right there, oh gosh. Like, I wish they shut the field houses down and take it back, because being able to, we talked about being ready for college, right? Yeah. College, you ain't no field houses. You got to, you playing in the ACC, you got to go in that house and deal with that. There's a whole section with your roster and know your whole background. You got to be able to deal, you know what I'm saying? So I love that you guys are getting ready to bring that, and of course, that's in my backyard. I'm going to be up in the building, because that right there, that's that real old school basketball feel right there. Walking in and just knowing no matter what you do tonight, or you win that home crowd over, what?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, I can't wait for that one.
Yeah. And so we did it on a Saturday because,
you want everybody to be there.
Yeah, because Friday, it's football season still. You know what I'm saying? So I told Noe, I was like, well, if we do Friday, nobody's coming to the game. That's it. So that would be a wasted day. So we're going to do it Saturday, 1:00. So it should
Prime
be
time.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Give everybody a chance to be there too. Yeah, I can go. I'm gonna go on to call it ET. We need our VIP pass. That's standing room only right there. Like we need our access.
That one.
Yeah, we got to get our baseline access.
Well, I'm gonna be there. I'm recording the game. At the same time, I'll probably be baseline for a little bit of the game, not the whole game, because at the same time, I want to report about this one. This one's gonna be huge. This is a barn burner right here. And then it's early in the season. Yeah, this is a heavyweight fight right here. This is a heavyweight fight.
It's the first game. First game.
Yeah.
Out the gate, out the dock.
This is a heavyweight fight, and and if I'm correct, how many times you done beat Noe, Coach? I think you one of his thorns in the side.
I've never lost to Noe.
Exactly. See. So right now, it goes back to cold days. Coach is a thorn in his side right now.
I see you try to start something over there.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
And you fell for it. You know, you can't.
Yeah,
That's what Anthony Edwards did with Kyrie. Don't wake him up. Don't wake. Don't give him no reason now. Coaches, old school coaches, they keep that in the back pocket, waiting for the day. You know, he waiting for this day.
Hey, and I already know. Like I've told everybody when he was getting the job, when he got the job, I said, "No, he's a hell of a coach. He is a hell of a coach." And he's good. You know, even when he was at Cole and I'm at Wagner, I mean, you think about it, you know, you're thinking that, well, it's just 3A. Well, those 3A dudes came and played. Like, we had to play. It wasn't just like, oh, you know, it's 3A. No, we had to play because no one knows what he's doing. And now he has, I can't say that word, a lot of
He got juggernaut. He got mini juggernaut over there. So yes, he does.
And he just and they're loaded. You know, they have good pieces. He won't have some of his football guys, but you know, he might be worried about that. But I'm not. You know, I without those football guys, I think they're going to compete, and it's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a tough one. If we want to win that game, we're going to have to be dang near perfect.
You know, you spoke on Coach Ken too, and that's one of the things that, you know, me, ET talk all the time about what makes a good and great coach. And I tell him when you're a 30-70 underdog, right, and you turn that 30-70 to 50-50, right? Now you give that 30 guy that 70.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Hey, listen. Hey, one thing Coach will do his homework. And that's why this is going to be a great matchup.
Yeah.
This is why this is going to be a great matchup. And then I respect you for coming at him to where those like, hey, man, we the Jetson guys. Let's go ahead and let's line this up and let's do this. Let's get the season kicked off right. Right?
Yeah.
Again, but you hey, it's not like you got you don't got nothing loaded over there. You loaded too now.
Man, we're loaded
too. Anyway, like I said, what you got coming back this year? Ooh, man. Hey,
I'm getting chills just thinking about the good old backyard rivalry. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes.
that old school authentic basketball, man. You know, and so I'm with that.
Yeah,
all the way.
It'll be fun.
Right, so we're gonna let you. I know your baby girl sitting there. She keep walking by the door, looking at you, ready to color. So let me wrap up this rapid fire for you. All right, Coach. I'm gonna ask you a series of questions. Just give me what you think. Give me what you know. Question number 1: Eagles or Falcons?
Eagles.
See, you're not too bad off, ET. Pizza or calzone?
Oh shoot. That kind of depends on the day, but I'm going to go pizza.
Okay. Cheeseburger or hot dog?
Oh, cheeseburger.
Okay. LeBron or Kobe?
Kobe.
Okay. Two-part wing question. Buffalo or barbecue?
Ah, shit. Neither one.
Neither one?
Give me some spicy Asian or some Caribbean jerk.
Okay. Drums or flats?
Flats.
Man, everybody done chose flats this week. That's dope. All right. Now, fun fact about Coach Wagner, other than you calling your wife at halftime of every game, which I know she appreciates that, but give us a fun fact about you, Coach, that the world that don't know you can know.
Fun fact. Let's see. A fun fact, I think everybody already knows, but they don't know this part. I had before I started coaching, I had started getting into team roping. And so, yeah, you know, everybody knows I got a horse and stuff. Like I had bought, you know, a roping horse and stuff like that, and I had started doing it. So when I started coaching, it's just like any other team roping and calf roping and all that rodeo stuff is just like any other sport. You got to practice. And so in order for me to be decent at it and make money or, you know, not lose all my money every time I go, I would have had to go to the pens after work. Well, there's no way that I could go to the pins at, 7 o'clock and stay till like midnight every night to do it. So, I kind of gave that up. I still got my roping dummy and some ropes in the garage. You know what I'm saying? I'll pull them out sometimes and do that. But that's one of my fun facts.
True country boy.
That's dope, man. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. Hey, I told you when you find that 5 to 7 acres, let me know so I can go ahead and buy some now. I told you I'm still looking, man. I'm not leaving Texas, bro. I told you that. Even though I'm in Fayetteville, North Carolina, I told my family I ain't going back. I'm coming back to the East Coast.
Yeah.
I love Texas. So when you find that land for me, let me know, all right?
I will.
All right. Hey, man, again, thank you. I really appreciate this right here because this is important for the city. Thank you again, Coach.
No, I appreciate you guys. It was fun. And, just anytime I can just talk about, any and everything except X's and O's every time, you know what I'm saying? I think that's a good thing. I think you guys are doing a good job.
We're trying.
Coach RC, look forward to seeing you. Just, I'm about to make you smile, Clark. So as I'm getting older, right, I don't know what I was doing, but one of my partners had a pair of cowboy boots, and I tried them on. And surprisingly, they were actually comfy. So I'm not there yet, but you know what? When I'm ready to buy that first pair, Coach, I'm calling you. We gonna go boot shopping.
They'll buy you some Ariats.
I don't know what you're talking about, but you gonna help. I'm gonna let you get me.
Hey, Mike. Never take someone who wears cowboy boots with you for buy your first pair.
Yeah,
they're gonna make you break the bank. Yeah, see, they're gonna make you break the bank. I'm telling you. Yeah. Don't do it. Yeah.
I know regular boots. I don't have too many regular boots. It's all exciting.
Yeah, Mike, don't do it, man.
You know how some people got a lot of Jordans and all that. Well, I got a lot of boots.
Yes.
I got all kinds of different animal skins. Y'all can get in trouble with Peter now.
Hey, well, Coach, man, it's Monday night. I know your kiddos is waiting. Again, thank you for taking the time out. Thank you for allowing us the opportunity and the privilege to give you your flowers that you have rightfully so earned, and allowing us the opportunity to show this community, who Rodney Clark really is, man. So just thank you. Thank you for that opportunity, Coach.
Thank you guys. And, like I said, I appreciate you guys having me on. It was fun.
All right, Coach. Thanks again, man.
All right. We'll talk to you.
All right, Mike. Great job.
Playboy, you made that beat.